Ray Dalio says, I'm worried about something worse than a recession. Okay, Rob, if you want to play this clip, and then we'll go to Jamie right afterwards. Here's Ray Dalio.
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things. We have something that's much more profound. We have a breaking down of the monetary order. We are going to change the monetary order because we cannot spend the amounts of money, so we have that problem. And when we talk about the dollar and we talk about tariffs, we have that. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order. Such times are very much like the 1930s. I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive.
Okay.
How that's handled.
So that's Ray Dalio. So he's saying something worse than a recession, which is what? Depression, right? Okay, so this is Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon is taking a different position. He's on Fox Business. Go ahead, Rob.
My final question for you, after all of these incredible years of success and leadership in this great nation and the world, what tips do you want to give the younger generation who is coming up and watching you and wanting to learn how you achieved all of this? Give us some advice.
So work hard, learn, read everybody. Don't get into the echo system of Democrats, Republicans.
He gets to the recession clip in this clip, but it's very brief.
Okay, go ahead.
Conservatives, progressives, read everybody. Learn. Get to know, learn from everybody else. I learned a tremendous amount from talking to other people, not just from sitting by myself. So educate yourself.
When is it
learn how to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, your friends, your family, you're not going to have a great life. And enjoy it. Enjoy it every step of the way. And so have a little heart and humanity. Treat people properly. I grew up, with the way you treat people is you treat everyone fair and honest and forthright, whether it's a cab driver or waiter
bothers me, by the way.
or a CEO. And so,
he does. It's just, there's something about this guy that feels like he's always trying to say the right thing at the right time, and always trying to seem like he's on the right side of whatever it is. And I feel like, I covered the 2008 TARP and TALF stuff for ABC News, okay? And I had worked in mezzanine finance before I got into this, and they didn't have a business correspondent at the time. And that guy was always saying what he needed to say for himself in that moment. But he always wanted to make it like he was there for the little guy and for the people. And I think he's full of shit, that guy. There's something about him that really, I don't trust that he's coming from a good place, this guy, when he says things. Not that he's not smart, not that he doesn't get it. He's too convenient with what he says. It makes me think that he's not anchored by anything.
I actually think he's brilliant. I think he's the smartest man on Wall Street. But I also think he hedges everything with we're headed to a recession. He's been saying we're headed to a recession for the past 20 years.
Yeah, and he's going to be right at some point.
Right, but as the market goes up and JP Morgan stock goes up and Jamie Dimon looks smarter and smarter, if it does turn negative, he looks like he called the recession. But he is very, very smart.
But even this, bringing our trading partners closer as we build our military. He's just checking boxes. Yes, of course you want your trading partners close. Churchill had a great reminder for FDR during World War II when FDR was vacillating. The only thing worse than fighting against your friends is fighting without them. That's what we're risking right now, is going alone. And when we're as a coalition with all these other countries, we're much more formidable, even if we are very strong in our own right. And I don't like two things that are coming our way right now. One, turns out we have to spend a lot more money on military to compete with China. No thanks. We did that with the Cold War. It doesn't work. We don't need to do that. And the other thing we're going to hear is, you're right about all these concerns about the domestic market. We need those tax cuts right now. I don't want to see another tax cut for me. That's not going to help the same people who are going to get hit by these tariffs if they're in place. And I feel like both of them are coming.
See, now I would say we would agree on tariffs and we'll disagree on tax. That would be the one way to energize the U.S. economy, is allowing us to keep more of our money. It's always been a great driver of spending and saving. I think making them permanent.
Yeah, but just target it right. Target it right. You called it a middle-class tax cut, and they didn't get
Chris,
the money.
I don't think there's a bad target to reduce a tax, whether it's corporate tax or individual personal income tax, lower level, high level, middle class. Lower taxes, you create economic activity.
That's
and you don't
fine
have
as
to
long
worry
as you
about
cut the
China
spending.
or
Not like
Brazil.
he did it last time, Eric. The way he did it last time was screwed up. And they just kept saying they paid for themselves. And the only way you can get to that, as you know, is if you include the pandemic money. And you want to cut taxes, fine. Cut spending.
I agree
cut
with that.
spending
Sure.
and go to the DOD
Agree with
and
that.
cut spending. We do not need to build up to compete with China. They're not our problem that way. It's not like we're going to get a land war in Asia. It's not the Princess Bride.
If you can become fully, listen, oil is the lifeblood of the global economy, period. Whoever has it
So
does
drill.
the best.
Drill,
so
drill. Knock yourself
baby,
out.
drill. Lower taxes, and you don't have to worry about
Cut spending.
paying more in your tariffs when you send stuff to China than they send it this way.
Cut
the
spending.
The best year of my life is the year I pay the most freaking taxes, okay? Because I made a lot of money.
Right.
And my point is, if we are so strong, so powerful, our economy's pumping at $30, $40 trillion a year GDP, okay, so China's doing 42. We have a fifth of their population. It's all good. It's not bad. Lower our taxes, lower our fuel prices, and we will compete on a global stage for the rest of our
But we're
lives.
missing a piece. We're missing the most important piece. One of the things I love about Pat and what he's doing here is the culture that's an extension of family, okay? You go see Pat with his kids, you know, one, he's present, right? And his wife, obviously. They take education very seriously. Those kids have to nail it. They have to be STEM sensitive. Yeah, you got to be able to kick the ball and be a good team player. That's what China did. China invested. They are 5-1 STEM graduates over us, okay? Per capita, 5-1. We're leaving that piece out, okay? You want those jobs, who's going to do those jobs? We're not STEM activated here in our education.
See, Trump's trying to fix that.
Well, is he?
Get rid of the Department of Education.
Yeah, how does that
kill
help?
the unions, and all of a sudden things get better.
I think
Again,
how do
unions,
you know that
these
that's what's
departments-
going to make it better?
Well, that's the theory. I mean, the theory is free them up, just like the
guess.
free market, free up education, allow parents to take the money that the public school system is wasting on students and failing miserably at, and let them choose where the best schools are.
I
and where
think
the
you
best
have to
teachers
do
are.
what we don't want to do, which is what other cultures do, which is you have to pick winners and losers. You have to test kids at different points as they're coming up and figure out who has the aptitude and then put them on different courses like you see in other places. And you pay for their education. If you're that smart, Vinny, you're that good, I'll pay for your education. And you're going to give it back to me with what you do. We'll figure it out. We are not doing that in this country right now. We are a culture of accommodation right now. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. You be you. And it's as big a part as anything we've talked about in the podcast up to this point as to what our concerns are with China.
You misgendered me. I'm not you. I'm they, them. So
They,
just to correct.
You're
I thought you were macho.
You're making the case to eliminate teachers' unions, Department of Education.
No, I'm not. I think that's...
You literally just said that.
No, I didn't.
Based on meritocracy rather than a union mandate.
Collective bargaining matters. You know, you go back to the Gilded Age and you see how workers were doing and what the die rate was and child labor.
beyond the Gilded
Unions have a
Age,
place.
Chris. No one's dying in
The president
factories
says that's what we
anymore.
should go back to.
No, it's a new golden era. It's not the Gilded.
The golden era was after World War II. The Gilded Age, which is fake gold, right? That's the one that he points to. Look, collective bargaining to me, I think, is a virtue. Can it go too far? Do you have to regulate it the right way? Of course. But what I'm saying is, I don't care about what the mechanism is. I'm talking about the goal. You don't have enough smart people with the right kinds of educations in this country. That's all I'm saying. You don't even have enough trade workers in this country.
We agree.
And we
But
need
how
to
do you
foster
get there
that.
is where we disagree.
100%. I don't necessarily disagree. I'm open to it. I think the best ideas should win. I don't know what they are. I ask questions for a reason. You know what I mean?
Tom, chances of recession.
A recession by definition of 2 quarters, I'm only at like 10, 20%. But you have to remember what a recession is. A recession is the consumer spending it drops, GDP drops 2 quarters because people aren't spending. Why are they spending? Because their sentiment went down. Why is their sentiment down? Because everybody's telling them it's bad. Why is everybody telling them it's bad? Because they don't give enough time for these tactics to come to fruition to get to the other side of where we're going to do. You know, a recession doesn't mean that the auto industry has been nuked. It just means that all the spending was down for 2 quarters. Now, I think there's a 20% chance that could happen. That's what I think. But I'll tell you, I'm with Eric on the tax thing. Right now, we're about to cross, if we haven't crossed already, 1.3 trillion on consumer credit card debt. Records that are being set that the consumer shouldn't be setting. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And we have the cumulative effect of inflation. So a tax cut on those people helps moderate that. And I think that helps them. And I also agree with drill, baby, drill, because I would go after Anwar, and I would pump the hell out of Anwar, and I would be selling it to people that own our T-bills, and I'd be taking down our long-term debt. And guess what happens? You do that. Now you go watch what happens. But right now, I think there's a 20% chance of a recession by definition, not by the redefinition they did under Biden, where they ignored the fact and worked around the fact.
Well, they took out food and energy. Conveniently removed the two most volatile and spiking.
Yeah, that's exactly. Without my wife and I, the average age, we have a very young, healthy household.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of you have been asking about the cigar lounge that you want to come to it. And we've been having back-to-back. This last Friday was the biggest event we ever had at the cigar lounge, which was fantastic. However, grand opening is this Thursday night. And this is what we're doing. Thursday, we're not doing a podcast in the morning. Thursday, we're doing a live podcast at our comedy club at Cigar Lounge, $59.90 live. Tickets are being sold. It'll be myself, Vinny, Tom, and Adam. Live audience. Come on down. Bar opens at 6. If you get there at 6 p.m., you buy tickets, no matter whether you buy the regular ticket, the general, the premium, or VIP. If you get the ticket and you're there early, we're going to give private tours of the Cigar Lounge and then bring you back in the room. And the podcast will start at 7 p.m. It's going to be it's going to be, if you've been to it before, it's a spectacle. It's incredible. The energy, the vibe, the announcements, different things that we do, and a lot of people networking together. But that's the QR code. The website, Rob, if we can give them the website so some of the folks on Spotify can go to it as well. I believe it's boardroom.
Cigarlounge.com.
Boardroomcigarlounge.com. Go a little bit lower so it gives the details. You'll get the tickets, so go lower, Rob, lower for the tickets. There's general premium VIP, $100, $250, $500. VIP, you get a chance to actually go afterwards to the Cigar Lounge, and we'll be with you guys. And we're doing it Thursday instead of Friday because Friday is Good Friday. So Thursday, we'll celebrate it together. Come on down, bring a friend, network, join the rest of us. We'll have a good time. If you've been to it before, typically the people that have been to it before, they know VIP sell out immediately. This year we have fewer VIPs because platinum members get first on those seats. So if you want to have a VIP seat, hurry up and place your order, and we'll see you guys Thursday night. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.